Poverty, as we all know, is a complex and multidimensional challenge that affects millions around the world. It's not just about income, it encompasses access to essential life services and affects every facet of a human being's development, especially in the context of what we do at Udayan Care through our FiT Families Together project. We all know the challenges faced by below poverty line families in our country. Often it leads to child protection issues such as child marriage, child abandonment, school dropouts, and child labor. COVID and loss of livelihood has further pushed many more families deeper into poverty. Through the session, we will explore real examples of our family strengthening approach in action. We will hear about ways that have successfully empowered families to lift themselves out of the poverty, and we will gain the insights into the ripple effects these efforts have on economic inclusion and overall societal progress. Let's begin by setting the context and understanding what our family strengthening project, its goals and approach in details. Dr. Kiran Modi is the founder and managing trustee of Udayan Care. Ma'am, please share a brief about our FiT Families Together project, why we started in, and what has been the progress so far.
Thank you, Srishti. Vinita, will you please put on my presentation? Yes. So this is, my project is FiT Families Together, and it addresses Sustainable Development Goal 1, no poverty. If you look at it, there are guidelines for alternative care of children, 2009, which mandates to support children to remain with and be cared for by their own families, and removing any child from his or her family should be a measure of last resort. Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children 2015 affirms the importance of family, that is, principle of family responsibility and institutionalization as the last resort. The resolution on the promotion and protection of rights of children was adopted by the UN General Assembly in 2019, and it asked for critical investments to keep families together. Kigali Declaration on Childcare and Protection Reforms 2022 supports the efforts for tackling causes of separation of children from family and community and discourages institutionalization. Mission Vatsalya 2022, it advocates for strengthening and promoting of non-institutional family-based care program for holistic development of children. So our project, this FiT Family project, is very solidly laid on these foundations, and it directly addresses Sustainable Development Goal 1 and indirectly 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 11, and 17. If we look at the situation, in 2022, this study came out. This MPI clearly mentions 27.9% of India's population is identified as multidimensionally poor. CMIE in September 21, they said overall unemployment rate in India stands at 8.3, urban employment rate at 9.7, and rural employment rate at 7.7. In August 21, CMEI, again, this study came out where every third youth in the country is unemployed. National Family Health Survey talks about women who possess sole or joint ownership. Look at the numbers, only 42.3% and 31.7%. Such a large number of women have nothing to own in terms of land or house. Unemployment, everybody knows, causes social stress, lack of social support, and lack of resources. Children from poor families do not get social skills, which is required by them. They are not able to go to school for many reasons. They need motivation. So one can see poverty is the main reason for institutionalization. Enough studies have come out where children, because of poverty, they have been institutionalized, and also enough evidence is there to say the harm of long-term stay in institutions. Next, please. It got stuck. Yeah. No, there was one more slide. Anyway, when we started, yes, we started feeling the need, for this kind of a project. And what was the trigger? At the time of COVID-19, almost 145,788 children who were living in institutions were sent back to their families at the time of COVID-19, following a Supreme Court's order. It led us to develop a program, FiT Families Together, in its first phase in partnership with Martin James Foundation, and in the second phase with CERI. And we started with one district in Delhi. The idea was to trace the children who have gone back to the families and what kind of rehabilitation and reintegration is happening. So we developed a pilot project and we started seeking out all these children. And to our utter surprise, a list of 250 children, we could trace only about 50, 60, I think 58 children. Approvals obviously were taken from Department of Women and Child Development, and our CWC in our district and the CCIs there, all of them helped us in moving forward. Next. When we started this project, we also started very seriously thinking what kind of an approach should we be having. And we studied all kinds of approaches which are internationally known, the Thrive Scale, FAF, AFS, Nurturing Care Framework, NFRC, NCFARS, and of course, our own 29 years of running institutional care. So we had the practitioner's experience, and that we brought into this particular project. And also 1 year, the project had already run on in the community. We developed this circle of protection, care and protection. There are 10 domains on this. And can you just go to the next one, please? And here you can see the domains: basic needs and safety, household, finances, physical health, mental health, education and vocation, child self-awareness, community and social connections, legal entitlements, positive parenting, hope and faith. So these are the 10 domains. Each domain is very cleverly and very carefully outlined, and I'm not going to go more on in detail because I'm sure some of our members are going to be talking about it later. But these are the 10 domains on which we evaluate and assess each family that comes into our program, and we design the interventions. I mean, I would just like to read out one or two quotes from families. One of the children said, "When I came from CCI back to the family, I always thought I could do nothing on my own. But with support and guidance, I felt motivated and learned to focus on solutions instead of counting problems. I have learned and seen myself change." Another person says, "Even in difficult times, I keep the will to live fully and achieve something meaningful for myself and for society. I release all my emotions through my art. It comforts me. If not, I know where to look for support." So the children, when they started getting this kind of a support, and the families, they started getting support, all of started becoming more positive, and there is hope. Next, please. So, so far we have taken 54 families for direct support, but we are working with the entire community, because whatever we are doing there, all the community related programs are benefiting the entire community. But these 54 families are taken for very, very deep interventions. And here we will be working with them for a minimum of 3 years. And we've divided the families into 3 categories: high touch, medium touch, low touch. High touch are those who really need close support and guidance. There is high level of risk. Medium touch are those, they are in the process, they are becoming self-sufficient, but they still need more support. And low touch are ready to move out of direct support, but they still need hand-holding support so they don't slide back. So I'm very happy to say 12 families have already moved from high to medium touch, and 8 of them now are in the low touch category. So the idea is to convert all these families into low touch, yet continue to handhold so that they are able to actually alleviate poverty in their midst. Next, please. So if you look at this, what are the kind of changes made possible? For children, youth, and families which were supported, 83 families were supported for their legal identity documents, 72 children's education was supported, 20 youth were skilled so that they could get jobs, 24 persons provided physical health services, 135 mental health assessments were done and support was given, 32 life skills sessions held, 15 families linked to government schemes, 3 families supported with livelihood and entrepreneurship, 6 community awareness programs held on health, social issues, and partnered parenting, regular children's group and women's group meetings, and 5 stakeholders meetings have been held to forge cross sharing and convergence. In these stakeholders meetings, it is not only the community and the neighborhood school, the neighborhood, the pradhan, everybody comes, but also a lot of CCIs who are working in communities, they come, and also stakeholders from the government, the child protection functionaries come. So there is a lot of cross learning and sharing and convergence. We are consistently working towards establishing a model. Towards that, we have a dedicated workforce of qualified case managers and psychologists. We have developed clear guidelines and tools for assessments and formats for planning, risk mitigation, and support on all that circle of care domains, which I showed you earlier, and the next speaker will be speaking about it. There are family development plans, youth development plan, and children development plan. And these are all great formats and continually reviewed, because what is today true may not be so in the next 3 months. So it requires consistent review, and we are working closely with district child protection functionaries. We are trying to converge with allied departments like education and safety and all those kind of things. We are working with CCIs and other CSOs, and of course donors. And very important is to understand the schemes, SOPs for linkages and referrals, so that we are able to provide the families the necessary linkages. And linkages for education, health, nutrition, safety, protection, and development are continually looked at. We've been able to form, as I said earlier, also children's groups, women's groups, they are formed, and these are all working on participatory principles. And the last but not the least, the very, very important is to make quality documentation and advocate around it. So, next, please. So our goals, to put it into a nutshell, child is at the center, and around the child, families, caregivers, communities. And idea is safe, strong, functional, resilient families will be there. Caregivers will become empowered, hopeful, connected, and intentional. And communities will become strong, connected, participative, ownership. And what will happen? Happy, healthy, thriving children. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for sharing these valuable insights and work done by the project. Mr. Devashish Mishra is the National Child Protection Consultant at CERI, a global agency working to promote family-based alternative care system globally. Sir, thank you for joining. Can you please provide insights on the circle of care and protection being used as a framework in family strengthening project? Please also explain how the various domains and how they address poverty elevation. Also, please explain the innovative method of bringing stakeholders at district level together on one common platform and how that aids the project. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Srishti. At the outset, I would like to say thanks to Udayan Care and Changemakers team for providing me this opportunity. I'm truly honored to be here for sharing matter of paramount importance, the strengthening of families. The concept of family strengthening revolves around the idea that when families thrive, individuals, communities, and nation thrive as well. Families are the primary source of emotion support, care, and socialization for individuals across their lifespan. We are doing family strengthening through the care of 10 domains. As Kiran ma'am said, and she explained about the all 10 domains. Our families are the cornerstone of our communities. And it is imperative that we nurture and fortify them in every way possible. The concept of the 10 domains provides us with a comprehensive framework to achieve that. As we all know about that, if we talk about the development of family, child development, then we have to ensure everything, not only protection, not only rights, not only finance, not only health. And even in health, during COVID, we realized that mental health is very important. So, mental health, physical health, and not only for one individual, one person. We have to work with every person in the family, children, adult, and old age person. We have to work with them. Then we can ensure holistic development of a child. So, as ma'am said about domains, I am going to say again for to uh, to say about that what kind of domains we have using here and how we are working. So first is basic needs and safety, household finance, physical health, mental health, education and vocation, child self-awareness. This is my favorite one. Community and social connections, legal entitlements, positive parenting, and in last, hope and faith. So, when we invest our time, effort, and resources into these domains, we lay the foundation for strong, resilient, and thriving families. This is where we, as a stakeholder, come into play. Our respective organization represent pillars of support for families, offering resources, expertise, and services that can empower them to overcome these challenges. By working together, we create a network of interconnected support systems that enable families to not only weather the storms they face, but also to thrive and grow stronger in the process. Strengthen the family, the contribution and coordination among all the stakeholders released to its domain is significant. For this, we at FiT project hold a meeting with stakeholder every other month. In this meeting, the concerned government departments like District Child Protection Unit, Child Welfare Committee, Education Department, Child Line, Health Department, and other representatives of NGOs working on various issues are involved, in which we discuss various topics related to the problems of children and trying to find a solution to the issue. I'm very happy to inform you that for the last 8 months, these meetings are happening, and due to the untiring efforts of all the stakeholders, we have been able to bring a positive change in the lives of many children. We want to bring about all around development of the children by eliminating the problems related to them and their families while living in their families. In that case, we have to remember that no one institution can be proficient in all subjects. For this, we need to consult various subject experts and organization and have to work together. The stakeholder meeting is playing an important role in strengthening the family in this direction. In a word that is a constantly evolving, the value of a strong, resilient family cannot be overstated. They are building blocks of society, the bedrock upon which our communities stand. As we gather here, a representative of various organizations, agencies, and institutions, we have a unique opportunity to join forces and enhance the well-being of families everywhere. Through collaborative efforts, we can achieve several important objectives. Let us remember that the significance of our individual efforts magnifies when combined with efforts of others. By uniting as stakeholders in family strengthening, we commit to making a lasting impact on the lives of countless families. Our shared vision is one where families not only survive but thrive in the face of challenges. I invite each of you to contribute your insights, passion, and dedication to this vital cause. Together, we can create a brighter future for children in this world. Thank you. Over to you, Srishti.
Thank you, sir, for sharing an insightful explanation of this approach and its benefits. We will now present 3 life case studies for reflections. Please note that all the cases presented are of children and young people who have had lived experience of being in alternative care in Delhi and were restored back to their families during COVID-19. Ms. Alveera, case manager of the FiT Families Together project at Udayan Care. Alveera, can you provide a case example of how disability can be a factor that becomes a barrier in enhancing their livelihood? What was done through your intervention? And what were the challenges you experienced as you worked with the family? Do share the current status also.
Thank you, Srishti, for giving me the opportunity to present this case. I work in FiT Families project as a case manager. The case I'm presenting has a strong father who is very caring for his family, which includes his wife and 5 children. Despite his visual impairment, he always managed a small kirana shop as his means of livelihood. Poverty had made the parents to choose to send their 4 children to the CCI, but all of them were sent back to the family during the COVID-19. Tough time came when one of his daughters, Zainab, fell ill with prolonged TB. The parents could not detect the disease timely and delayed in the treatment due to lack of awareness and information. Taking care of her medical expense and treatment was hard for the family. This affected Amir's shop, making it difficult to earn enough money. They were concerned about the other children's education uh, due to the financial constraints and feared of spread of illness. Using a case using a case management approach, we ensured Amir's shop could be expanded by connecting him with FOD, another NGO that provides soft loans to persons with disability. During the illness, uh, During the illness of the elder daughter, we ensured all support possible. Besides providing expenses needed on an emergency basis during her hospitalization, we ensured that one full-time support person was present with the family in the hospital. Simultaneously, the case was presented back to the CWC for appropriate direction. The family provided all necessary support and linked the family with multiple agencies, such as Railway Children and their CCI, where children were residing previously, to provide immediate dry ration support to the family. However, despite our efforts, Zainab's condition worsened as the infection reached her intestine. Sadly, she didn't survive. As a part of our services under the 10 domains of this circle of care and protection, we ensured that children's education was not disrupted and transferred their admission to a nearby school. The children were also supported with getting school ready by giving them uniforms and stationery. We connected the family with the local mosque, other donors, and we used Keto platform to generate fund to help the family. And also, we connected the family with Al Ansar Trust and Railway Children NGOs to offer nutritional support, while Kilkari Rainbow Home and Udayan Care shared medical expenses of the treatment of Zainab. Also, we have applied for children's sponsorship, which has reached at the level of the district magistrate for the consideration. The challenge we faced in while working in the case, the family started relying entirely on our assistance. This is a big challenge for us as families start depending on external support. Our project strategy clearly prohibits this, as we want the families to become self-dependent in 3 years, and we want them to move all our families to from high touch to low touch intervention. Constant email messages is given to the family to become empowered and start taking responsibility for their own lives and families. Often we also see the gratitude is missing from family members, and inculcating a sense of being thankful is worked upon, so the family start connecting with others, so may need other who may need the similar support and can eventually start giving back to society, so that stronger community can be built who can care and nurture children well. Thank you, Srishti, for giving me the opportunity. It's up to you.
Thank you, Alveera, for sharing this motivating case narrative. Ms. Vinita, case manager of the Fit Families Together project at Udayan Care, can you please share a case study demonstrating how the Fit Families project supports economic well-being of both caregivers and youth, and outline the strategies employed to create livelihood opportunities for their economic stability? Over to you, Vinita.
Yeah, just a minute, Srishti. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to share the case. So, Alveera is going to present the PPT. So, just taking a minute.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, Alveera.
So,
We cannot see the slide.
Oh, now is it visible?
No.
Oh,
okay,
just
Alveera, try again. Yeah.
can you see it now?
Oh, yes, now it is visible.
Yeah.
So, thank you so much, Srishti. So, as a case manager working on the Fit Families Together project for more than a year now, I want to say that this is only one of the many cases we have been working on this. And this is a case of Hamza, Sohail, and one of his their sibling. So the loss of their mother in the early years, their father abandoned them, and they led to their children being placed in the CCI in South Delhi. But this family was living in the other district, Uttar Pradesh. So both children grew up for more than a decade in CCI in South Delhi only. And during COVID-19, after the order of Supreme Court, all the three siblings were restored back to their uncle in the Uttar Pradesh district only. The first consequence of this restoration was that unfortunately the children dropped out from school as they were now living with their extended uncle in another district. When we met the family for the first time a year back, we firstly undertook their detailed need assessment through a standardized tool that we use in our project. We also developed their family intervention plan, individual care plan, and mapped the resources and possible linkages that could be done. Our idea is always to enable the family to become strong and independent. So, on a priority, we enrolled all the children in the National Institution of Open School. You already might know that the Open School is a distance learning where all the children can complete their education while parallelly working on the other skills if they want to, so that they could continue their education. We also undertook the children's interest and strengthen and enroll them in the job oriented skill courses through GMR, which is a skilling institute in Dwarka and also at our Udayan Care ITVT centers. So parallelly, these children were doing their skill courses as well as with their education. Realizing the importance of the mental health and emotional well-being, our full-time counselors in the project counseled the children, their family members, and also engaged the children in creative activities and life skill sessions. This helped and improved the self-esteem of the children and bond well with the family. Constant hand holding was done by as a case manager and with completion of other short skilling courses. Two of the children who turned 18 were placed in job immediately after completing their skill oriented courses. Since we consider the family as a unit, we also work to get the uncle a better job so that the family income could improve. As a team, we also assisted the youth in building social connections within their communities and discovering opportunities to form relationships and communicate with their neighbors. Because the children were restored to their uncle and they do not have the circle here in the society, so we motivated the children into our counselings and through our life skill sessions to build the relationship in the community. As part of our efforts to improve parenting skills in the family members, we conducted sessions with the uncle to better understand and address the emotions of young individuals who have recently been restored to them in such a difficult time during COVID 19. So, I am happy to share that the family has now incredibly progressed. Most importantly, the young persons are continuing with their education. They are now have better problem solving, decision making skills, and clarity in personal and professional growth. Continuous help counseling help them remain independent. So this was the case where emotional support was given to them, and now the youth are leading the independent life. Our main objective in this project is to make family strengthen and make them independent by their own so they can take the decisions accordingly. So thank you so much, Srishti. Up to you now.
Thank you, Vinita, for sharing this informative case narrative. Mr. Manan, counselor at the FiT Families Together project at Udayan. Manan, could you describe your experience of assisting an youth with illness and no support by collaborating with multiple agencies to support the youth in medical, nutritional, educational, and livelihood needs, and outline your approach clearly?
Thank you, Srishti, for giving the opportunity. So, we follow a holistic approach in our project where we see the family as a whole and assess their needs, challenges, and provide individual focus intervention. As in the case, the youth is without parental care and has been suffering from HIV since 2012. We are working in the best interest of the youth, and specific need-based assessment is provided to him. The youth face several challenges, including insufficient resources such as absence of financial assistance, deteriorating mental and physical health, lack of basic livelihood requirements. Initially, it was also difficult to boost his self-esteem because the youth has been facing discrimination and had no support from his extended family member due to his condition. There are different approaches and intervention strategies that were adapted for this particular case. So we have worked in 7 domains for this particular case. So I will list one after the other. Education and vocation. We enrolled the youth in 10th class in National Institute of Open School, and also enrolled him in basic computer class from Udayan ITVT Center in mental health and child self-awareness. We provide continuous counseling session to the youth. We also collaborated with NAS Foundation to provide HIV awareness counseling to the youth. Youth also participated in group session on self-awareness and well-being conducted by Udayan Care. Is actively participating in DNP plus youth group in physical health. We collaborated with Spit Foundation, which provided box, nutrition box known as Easy Portion to fulfill his requirement of protein. Delhi network of HIV plus children has also provided 1 month of dry ration. And Udayan Care also linked with a local vendor for twice a day of nutrition meal for the youth, which is located very close to the house. In legal household finance, we applied HIV pension for the child in ART center. We linked with the Delhi network of positive people for providing job placement to the youth. Legal entitlement place. We applied an income certificate in local SDM office for the youth. Positive parenting domain. We engage with the family in therapy session to improve internal communication within the family. We have worked on developing empathy and understanding among the family members. For hope and faith, we increase self-belief through continuous guidance and support and motivation to the child. And as stated already stated by Kiran ma'am and Devashish sir about the importance of linkages and stakeholder involvement, we hold a stakeholder meeting periodically, during which we present this case in front of all the stakeholders to seek their support and suggestion. Some of the stakeholders came forward to provide their assistance and participated in improving the nutritional support and mental health status of the individual. Through collaborative approach and child-centric approach, we have successfully been able to engage with the extended family of the youth and provide basic awareness to the mental health and basic awareness and mental health support to the family. And now we are working as a holistic approach. And I'm glad to tell you that now child is happily placed as a ORW in DNP Plus.
Thank you, Manan, for sharing this impactful case story with us. Congratulations to every team member who played a part in this case, acknowledging their remarkable dedication and contribution. Mr. Panna S., member of the CWC in Southeast Delhi and an experienced child protection expert. Sir, now that we have heard the case studies, please help us understand your role as a CWC member and the most important stakeholder in the child protection system. In your experience, what are the primary poverty-related challenges faced by marginalized community, and what actions have been taken or must be taken to address financial stability and family resilience? Can you help locate the FiT project as an initiative contributing to Goal 1 of SDG? And would you have suggestions for the way forward for such interventions? Over to you, sir.
Thank you, Srishti, for this opportunity to speak on child protection and from this strengthening approach. Actually, Child Welfare Committee takes care of the cases of children below 18 years of age who are in need of care and protection, which include street children, child labor, victims of trafficking, abandoned children, orphans, victims of child sexual abuse, physical abuse, children who need mental health and medical support, surrendered children, etc. And any public servant, welfare officer, police, doctor, public servant can produce the child before bench, and after interaction with the child, his parents, a welfare officer, a police officer, or on the basis of the documents presented before the CWC, the CWC take decision to ensure the care and protection of the child in his best interest. Decision may be the restoration of the child to his parents or placement in childcare institutions, or direction for medical examination, statement under section 164 of CRPC, or direction for SIR to DCPU. I would like to tell you about the key role of CWC in restoration cases and their follow-ups. The restoration of the child depends on case-to-case basis. In some cases, CWC restore children just after the production before the committee, while in some cases, when we are not sure about the safety and security of the child, we place him or her in CCI and direct DCPU for conducting social investigation and submit SIR. And after that, on the basis of SIR received from the DCPU, bench take decision for restoration with the direction, take decision for restoration with the direction to different stakeholders as per the immediate need and requirement of the child or the family. In my experience, I have joined in last year. I have completed 1 year in CWC, and I have found that poverty is the one of the major problem in India, and it has become the root cause of all other issues and challenges which marginalized communities face, like violence and aggression in the family, conflicts between husband and wife, drug abuse, alcoholism, depression, anxiety, school dropout, homelessness, involvement of family in begging, child sexual abuse, human trafficking, child labor, uh, and crime. Sometimes a family or children involved in crime also. This become a hindrance to the development of the country. There are several issues with the marginalized communities that they do not have a permanent means of livelihood. Most of them are daily wage laborers. Their per day income is very less to cater basic needs of the all family members. In that scenario, ensuring the education, health, and vocational skills of children and family members are beyond their earning limits. As a result, children get into the illegal activities like substance abuse and, as I said, sometimes in crimes. I would like to share something about how do we address the issues of children. As per JJ Act 2015, Principle of Family Responsibility, the primary responsibility of care, nurture, and protection of the child shall be that of the biological family, or adoptive or foster parents. We consider institutionalization as a last resort while dealing with cases of children in need of care and protection. Therefore, after receiving social investigation and need assessment by District Child Protection Unit, if we find that the children are eligible for financial assistance as per Mission Vatsalya scheme and Juvenile Justice Act 2015, CWC ensure with the support of DCPU and district magistrate that the child receives benefits of the sponsorship scheme of the government in his or her account, which is rupees 4,000 per month per child. It can be given to 2 children in a family for a certain period of time. After that, initially we provide this benefit to the child for 3 months, and after that, after 3 months, we assess the situation of the family. If the family situation has improved, then we stop this benefit. Otherwise, if we find that child needs some more needs assistance further, we continue the support. Apart from this scheme, the CWC ensure that the children of incarcerated parents receive the benefits of the scheme and receive a sponsorship amount of rupees 3,000 per month. It can also be given to 2 children in a family. Besides, if due to lack of information or relevant ID proofs or related documents, children's admission is denied by the school, we ensure with the support of NGOs like Udayan Care and other NGOs and DCPCR's project, Children in Street Situation, that all documents are made. They are admitted in school and connected with the relevant government schemes or relevant government social security schemes. I would like to say something about FiT project. Udayan Care's FiT project is working with the CWC South Lajpat Nagar, and around 8 to 10 cases we have referred to the FiT project, and they are working very well. As per JJ Act, I would like to say something about the restoration process. Actually, what we do. in restoration process and after that follow-ups. As per JJ Act, most of the children living under institutional care are placed in aftercare homes or restored to their families by the order of CWC when they attain age of 18 years. But post-restoration, if the family environment of the child is not good or the family is unable to take care of the child due to financial problems and other related issues, there are chances that whatever efforts CCIs have made for care and protection and development of the child all vanish. Therefore, it is very important that after the restoration of the children, marginalized families of children are strengthened through parenting skills and other skills so that they can take care of their children uh, very effectively. FiT project has initiated strengthening marginalized families. The 10 domains of FiT project are interlinked and definitely play a facilitating role in achieving goal 1 of SDG. Very important aspect of the project is its participatory approach, where the targeted communities and families are very much part in addressing poverty and enhancing the financial condition of the families. Project has played an important role in linking some of the families where the head of the family is a person with disability by setting up their small family business. I would request the state to replicate this effective model at state level, as this is very much in line with the GG and Mission Vatsalya non-institutional based family care setup. It would be great if more organizations come forward to work on family strengthening approach. Yes. Thank you, Srishti.
Thank you, sir, for providing your valuable perspectives on these significant inquiries. Ms. Sania Girdhar, an experienced mental health expert in Delhi. Ma'am, can you elaborate on how low mental health can aggravate poverty, its connection to SDG 1 progress? Can you also explain the potential consequences of neglecting mental health, addressing misconceptions, and successful strategies integrating mental health into poverty reduction efforts? Also, as a mental health professional, please share your perspective towards family strengthening approach of FIT Families project in addressing gaps and achieving SDGs. Over to you, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Srishti. So now we are talking about mental health. What about having a smile on your faces? Smile, which gives you a positive vibe, which gives you a good mental health. Okay. So, is my PPT on? All those who are smiling and ready to learn, please give a reaction of a thumbs up or a smiley or something. Awesome. Okay. So I'm waiting for my so many smiles, so many happy people. Wow. Okay.
PPT is not showing.
So I'll just wait for my PPT. Is it showing?
I'm presenting it, I guess. Please let me know if is it visible.
Not right now, but I'll wait for it.
Trying it again.
Did you feel some energy, some positive energy in you while you all were smiling? I can see that on your faces. Okay. That's mental health. That's one step you took today to smile and to have a positive mindset. Okay. So now, how can we build bridges of empowerment when we talk about poverty and mental health? Poverty is different and mental health is something which can be a result of having scarcity and stressful situations. Okay. Next slide, please. Okay. So these are the few questions which we are going to address today. That is poverty creating more mental health problems, or what is there a dysfunctional environment in the family, and does it create more mental health issues? Or is it important to empower the vulnerable families, the communities? And if we put focused efforts to reduce poverty as per our sustainable goals, will it enhance the mental health also of an individual? This is what we are going to talk today. Next, please. Okay, so I'm gonna share a quick small story of this small boy sitting in a purple shirt. Okay, sad face and very upset and poor. Why? Well, why is this like? Is he normally like that? No. This child is a 16-year-old child. He's facing financial problems. He's lost his mother. The father is very non-responsive, as it was shared in Manan's case study as well. He has no contact with his siblings, and the whole house structure, it's a very crumbled house structure he lives in. He doesn't have any medical facilities, and suddenly he becomes the sole bread earner of the family. Now, what do you think would be the mindset of the small child? This is 60, he's 16-year-old, no one to support them. Obviously, he will get into some mental health issue. He will be facing, this is bound to happen, that he'll face low moods, loss of appetite, reduced sleep, loss of interest. So these are some things which are triggered by situations in an individual's life. Okay. And the institutionalization care or family-based care, these are the cares we have, but also these cares depend on which child needs what. Okay, next slide, please. Now, what research says? Research says there's a very thick connection between depression, anxiety. If there's poverty in the family, if there's scarcity or stressful situations in the family, child or an individual is bound to have some anxiety issues, depression issues. Yeah, but this doesn't mean that each individual who is going through poverty will have some or the other mental illness. No, not every person who is facing some scarcity or stressful situation is suffering from some mental illness. It's just that risk of developing this mental illness is more in people who face regularly so many situations, scarcity, stressful situations, poverty. The risk elevates. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, now how poverty can affect their day-to-day functioning. So when there are so many stressful situations, as per a mental health perspective, there's a release of a hormone, okay, cortisol, which increases our anxiety level. Okay, then there's this, what happens is there's release of cortisol, there's release of so many hormones. These hormones, what these hormones led to is that there's a tendency that these people show reduced capacity to think strategically, because when mind is not working properly, obviously they'll have a reduced capacity to think what is right, what is wrong, how to take a better financial decisions. They will face such things, and slowly over a period of time they learn this pattern of it's called learned helplessness. Learned helplessness is that it is beyond our control, we cannot do anything. It becomes a pattern of their behavior, and to solve that they say, okay, we'll try to find something else or some outside source who will provide us this and that. But what about their internal intrinsic sources, internal locus of control? Because poverty actually says, okay, let's just ask people and get it, right? Their locus of control shifts from internal to external. Now we have to shift this locus of control to internal, that no, you can't to you can. So I can't to I can. We have to shift this. Through mental illness, we can do mental well-being and mental health interventions, we can do that. But mental illness actually teaches them that you can't. So they say, I can't. That's the thing. Okay, next, please. So what are the current interventions right now? What are actually there? So we provide them financial donations. We do volunteer work with them. We provide them in-kind donations. There are so many social initiatives which are very effective, very successful. But there's one fact, one gap here, where most needy of the mental care have the least access to care, where all the departments or all the organizations, government support, all these support them to give them support to have access to this care. This helps them to stabilize, gain confidence that, okay, no, now we can do, we'll try. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, now we discussed about Dave. Now we are gonna empower Dave. Okay, so he had low symptoms, low appetite, reduced sleeps. Now what are we gonna do? We'll give them support interventions. Give the boy financial transfers. We'll give them CCI admission. We'll give all the conduct social initiatives with that. So what will happen? The child will have a very enhanced self-confidence. He'll have a positive outlook towards self and society. Positive outlook towards self is very important when a person wants to grow. He'll be ready to bounce back that, okay, there's a problem in my life. I'm ready to bounce back. I'm ready to go again. He can continue his studies. He can be financially independent. So these are few initiatives which are actually which can help the child to grow and excel. Okay, next slide, please. Now, what if we combine these with mental health interventions? Mental health interventions is, okay, the child is in depression, but what if we give the child, we give them psychotropic drugs? That, okay, child is in depression, let the child, and it's a very severe case, we'll tell the child to go for a psychiatric medication, and if that's needed and if he fulfills the criteria, then what will happen? Slowly over a period of time, these medications and interventions will help the child cater to the executive functionings, improve his executive functionings. He'll be able to think properly, think strategically, take better decisions. Now, family psychoeducation. Family psychoeducation is when we train the families as well. Not just the beneficiary we deal with, we train the families, we train the nearby environment, we do group and individual therapies. So through this, what we do, we don't just empower the individual, we empower the nearby people. We empower the community as well through community rehabilitation programs. Asset and skill development programs. What are these? Asset and skill development programs are when what the child already has, a good skill, a talent, we empower that talent, we strengthen that talent so that child can use that talent in his future to build his own empire of growth. Okay, next slide, please. So in my opinion, I would say, if we really want to reduce poverty, we have to work on reducing the hopelessness and helplessness these people actually have. And this will actually break that dysfunctional pattern and help them work and take ownership of their growth. Okay, and strengthen the communities that, okay, this is what is an initiative and we are helping you take one step. Now next step you have to take. And while I was listening to Kiran ma'am and previous speakers, actually the FIT project, which I feel was actually is doing is proceeding in that manner where they are giving the child or the community some initiatives, some interventions, and then now they are actually able to build themselves up with some support. Actually, these children, these individuals, you are empowering them. So this is what it is. And if you really want to work with them, help them, so let them be independent. So empower them and they'll empower themselves and they'll empower the community. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am, for your comprehensive insights and valuable perspectives on these inquiries. So this has been an enriching session. The case studies and the presentation by speakers have highlighted how poverty is often intergenerational, and it is important that we look at the family as a whole unit and bring it out of the cycle of poverty. When families are equipped with the tools to provide for their children's needs and nurture their potential, the cycle of poverty can be broken. This will allow children to thrive in families and communities, and we hope we can transform the care system in India with this approach. We will now take a few questions from the audience and request my panelists to answer them briefly. So this is the first question. Based on the experiences of the FiT project, what key lessons have been learned in the journey of family strengthening for poverty elevation? Looking forward, what innovative strategies or adjustments are being considered to further refine and enhance the effectiveness of the project's approach?
So this question is for whom, Srishti?
It's not written.
Okay. So
You can, yes,
yeah,
ma'am.
so I can just say, what we started out with, it was very clear that the families need support to be able to reintegrate their children back into families and with very scarce resources. So we developed this circle of care and protection so that not even one area goes unattended. So right from basic safety and security to hope and future aspirations. This is a full circle. In that, we are managing all our interventions. And what I really think is, if the families need repeated intervention, continual visit, continual assessment, because as I said earlier also, what is true today, maybe in 3 months' time, the family situation has changed and they're again sliding back. So we need to be constantly at alert and constantly innovate. If somebody else wants to add, please do. Devashish.
No, thank you, ma'am. You covered a very beautiful.
There is another question for Devashish,
Okay.
sir. What is your perspective on the impact of the family strengthening approach in elevating poverty? Is this approach being replicated in similar projects across other regions in Southeast Asia?
Thank you, Soni, for asking this question. This is really very important. So, as I said in my speech, that if we have to mitigate poverty, if we are thinking to eliminate poverty, then we have to strengthen the family. And for strengthen the family, we have to work on children education, financial condition. We have to improve their financial condition. Also, we have to improve their financial management and mental health, physical health, all kind of the factors which is important for the child development. So because if there any problem, as Sania ma'am said very well, that if there is any issue, any problem, and you are not feeling happy due to any reason, then how can you move forward? So for impact, if you want to see the result, then we have to we have to work on the poverty. And in this project, I would like to say that we are doing so many things. We are doing so many intervention to strengthen our families to get in better financial condition. And we are also working with other stakeholders to get more opportunity for our beneficiaries. So that's the way we are trying to do this. And the second thing is this approach being replicated in similar projects across other. Yes, so many other organizations are working similar to this project. And if I talk about the CERI, that in Sri Lanka, we are doing the same project. So yeah, recently we started this project in Sri Lanka. So let's see what kind of result we are going to get there. But I'm very happy to see the India progress. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. There's one more question from Sanjay Kumar Sana. What idea per plan you have prepared for inclusive future? Anyone can reply.
So I think, can I just answer this? Because I think we are running late also. So
Yes, ma'am.
I think, for an inclusive future, first of all, the mindsets of everyone need to change. Actually, when they say it takes a village to look after a child. So here, in the community, if one child, it has to be a village-like situation where everyone is contributing to the inclusive and holistic growth of that child. And more players need to be brought in, like Devashish had said earlier also. You can do only so much, and there the need is so big. So I don't know about the inclusive future, but we really need to work on making them inclusive and being a part of society with the dignity, and they should be able to survive and thrive. That's the aim, not just survive. Right now the attitude of most of us is like people should survive, but survive, it should go to thrive. And that can happen when everyone comes together and starts understanding how important it is to have an inclusive approach, collaborative approach. Then only they can go to the next level. Thank you.
So I
Thank you,
take
ma'am.
Guneet's question, but
So,
can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
yes.
So, like you mentioned, that FiT is a project that is run for the children who were restored during the COVID-19 pandemic. So, the family strengthening program that is working for the COVID restored children. How do you think? Do you think it is important to start from the scratch only, that there shouldn't have been any situation that the children were moved to a childcare institute and the families should have been strengthened before that only? Or do we look at it like these cases only remedial cases, or are we or does Udayan Care plan to scale up in that manner also?
We started with this reintegration approach, reintegrating children back who have come back from institutions. But it has immediately grown on to expand to the preventive aspect. So we are the 58 families that we have chosen from the community are those families, many of them are those families who may be on the verge of separation because of poverty, because of many other issues. So, if they are getting proper help, and then the preventive aspect will come into being, they will not get separated. And as far as expansion is concerned, I think we can see, the benefits of this kind of an approach. And hopefully, we are going to be expanding soon. Already, from 30 families to 58 families. So we are expanding bit by bit. But the issue is, we really want to do whatever best you can, at least for those chosen ones. Otherwise, they will again start sliding back. So my appeal, through this platform, whoever is watching, and most probably you are going to be putting it up on your website also. So it is for all, audience, whoever is hearing us, please join hands so that, FiT community not only remains in 2 communities and we go to many more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. One more question. I was just curious to ask that. So this is for Manan, Srishti, or maybe Sania to answer. So, what difference do you see when you work with these children, the ones that are below the age of 13, maybe you say, who have not entered their adolescent age, and the ones who have been restored after entering the adolescence? How different it is? What are your approaches in handling these cases? I'm sure there must be some situations where children have been restored when they were 17, and there must be some cases when children were restored when they were 12. So, how different it is? Any one of you can answer.
Can you just reframe your question and see if I'm clear about it? That if you're asking that when a child is restored at a 12 years age and when a child is restored at a later age, what is the difference you feel in an adolescence, right? Okay, so when a child is restored at a younger age, it's easier for the child to adapt to the strategies. It's easier for the child to adapt to the family environment, or family is able to accept to them in a very adaptable manner or acceptable manner. But when child is in a very later stage, what happens is child wants independency. So suddenly parents feel that this is too much for us to handle, with all the teenage issues, with all the behavior issues. So these are the challenges which parents feel. And for these, parents capacity building sessions are conducted, which is very important, because these days parents themselves get confused that, okay, if there's a masturbation issue, how to handle that? Because 12 years of child will not have this issue, and 16-year 18-year child will have this issue. So suddenly a child who is not having any responsibility of a child, and they get to have this responsibility, it becomes difficult for them to adjust. But yes, there are interventions which we can plan based on the age, which will help address this gap. So yeah, hope I answered your question.
You did answer, but one more thing that I want to clarify here is, so like you mentioned that by the time a child is 17, 16, 17 or 18, they look forward to being independent rather than getting restored to a family. So apparently, or as per my understanding, they feel more, what do you say, caged up, or caged up maybe not, maybe is not the right word. Apparently, the situation at their home with their family is a little more liberal than in a CCI. CCI is a little more stringent if we see the protocols and guidelines. And when they go back to their families, there isn't any rule as such. They're on their own only. So how do you distinguish that they look forward to their independence when they're in the CCI and not when they're restored? Actually, they get it then, because the family was not taking care of them for quite some time. So the doesn't family doesn't hold any ownership anyway. So, how do you? What are your thoughts on this?
Okay. So actually, that I would like to reframe it in a very way. People and families do put lots of restrictions on these children. In fact, they put more restriction than when they are in a CCI. They feel we had a schedule and everything. For a shorter period of time, they'll be like, parents will not say anything to them. But suddenly, after like when they 2-3 months and all, parents will be like, yeah, I mean, look, this child doesn't have any schedule. This child is just roaming around and he's very free and all. But later stages, parents do like to discipline them, get them into some structure so that they do learn few skills. If a parent is loving and if a parent is actually ready to accept the child. If not, then that's a different case. So these do happen. Independency, even a normal child will actually want independency in this age. It's just that how we adapt to the situations, how a parent is able to handle that situation well, is important in that stage.
If I can come in here, Sumina. We have the other program which is called Aftercare Outreach Program, and it's almost 300 youth across India that we are looking after. And in many cases, children who have been restored back to the families at the age of 18, most of the time they don't get any aftercare support. So they are out of that aftercare support. And when we are bringing them into our program, we are finding that many of them find it very difficult to adjust back in the family because of the poverty situation in the family, like in a CCI, you're supposed to be talking in a certain manner to the child. Suddenly the family uses harsh words. They are not able to take. They are used to a certain kind of a food in the CCI. Going back home again, there are so many issues besides the emotional issue. So they really rarely they are able to adjust. This is what we are noticing. We are counseling them again and again that you should be with the family, but it is very difficult. So I would go back to your original question. If the children are restored back earlier, then the family bondings can take place. And if you restore them so late, it will be very difficult to bring them together. I hope I've
Absolutely.
Thank you, Sumina. So I would like to end this session with a quote on positivity. As the family unit is the cornerstone of society, and by strengthening it, we can lay the foundation for sustainable development and progress. So I thank everyone once again